Here are today's 9 celebrity contestants. They're about to play for £10,000 for charity. Only one of them will donate the prize money. The rest will leave with nothing after their teammates vote them the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000 for charity. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. However, 8 of them will win absolutely nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Adam, I'm an actor from Warwickshire.
I'm Mel, I'm one half of Mel and Sue, and I'm from Leatherhead and London.
I'm Vanessa, I'm a journalist and broadcaster, I come from London.
I'm Simon, I'm a television presenter and I come from Galashiels and the Scottish borders.
I'm Alice, I'm a journalist and I come from Hertfordshire.
I'm Nicholas, I'm an actor and presenter and other things, and I live in Gloucestershire.
I'm Charlotte, I'm a consumer journalist from Sheffield.
I'm Sue, I'm one quarter of the double act Mel and Sue, and I'm from Croydon.
I'm Louis, I'm a journalist and I'm from London.
Now the rules. In each round the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and you lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from 0. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Adam. Let's play the weakest link. First question is for £20. Start the clock. Adam, in medicine, is an androgen a substance that acts as a male or female sex hormone?
Male.
Correct. Mel. Which S is a children's game and variant of hide-and-seek involving all players cramming into one space?
Sardines.
Correct. Vanessa. In history, which British king was crowned on Christmas Day in 1066 in Westminster Abbey?
William the Conqueror.
William I, I'll accept that.
Bank.
Simon. By what acronym is football's world governing body known?
FA.
FIFA. Alice. Is Glasgow east or west of Edinburgh?
West.
Correct. Nicholas. According to the song, what were the geese doing on the 6th day of Christmas?
6th day of Christmas.
The correct answer is laying. Charlotte. In chemistry, what A is the name of a pungent toxic gas with the chemical formula NH3?
Ammonia.
Correct. Sue. In the UK, the people of which country have provided the Christmas tree in Trafalgar Square since World War II?
Germany.
Norway. Louis. Which 1940 Disney film set animated pictures to pieces of classical music?
Fantasia.
Correct. Adam. Which part of the United States is known as Dixie, the North or the South?
South.
Correct. Mel. Which Irish author wrote the 1914 collection of short stories Dubliners?
Joyce.
James Joyce. Correct. Vanessa. Which singer's Christmas hits have included Mistletoe and Wine and Saviour's Day?
Cliff Richard.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
If an invitation stated black tie, what sort of jacket would a man wear?
A dinner jacket.
Correct. Alice. In nature, what name is given to an area of coastal grassland that is intermittently flooded by salt water?
Saltland.
Salt marsh. Nicholas. In the animal kingdom, what sea is a large North American reindeer?
It's a moose.
Caribou. Charlotte. Deglenor, often served at Christmas, is a popular Tunisian variety of which fruit?
Date.
Correct. Sue. Which of these cities is further from London by plane, Stockholm or St. Petersburg?
Stockholm.
St. Petersburg. Louis. Which film star is married to Maria Shriver, the niece of JFK?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Correct. Adam. In clothing, which B is the jacket worn as part of a school uniform?
Blazer.
Correct. Mel. What brown bird with an orange-red breast is commonly portrayed on Christmas cards?
Robin.
Correct. Vanessa. In politics, which American president coined the phrase New Deal?
Roosevelt.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
In which film does Jim Carrey star as Stanley Ipkiss alongside Cameron Diaz?
Pass.
The Mask. Alice. What is the name used to describe the passing of the moon between the sun and the earth?
Eclipse.
Correct. Nicholas. Which UK team first played in the Football World Cup finals in 1950?
UK World Cup finals. Well,
England is the correct
England.
answer. Charlotte, in Cockney rhyming slang, what are your mince pies?
Your eye!
Correct. Time was up, your answer was out of time, and in that round, team, you won £500 out of a possible 1,000. Which one of you is too slow to stay? Which one of you perhaps doesn't already understand the rules of the game? Who is an embarrassment? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The strongest link statistically is Vanessa, who gained the most points for the team. The worst player was Nicholas, who failed to answer a single question correctly. But will his teammates vote him off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Nicholas.
Parsons.
Nicholas.
Sorry, Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Charlotte.
Nicholas.
It's Nicholas.
Simon.
Sue, just take us through where you come from.
Croydon.
Via
Latvia.
Latvia.
But not via St. Petersburg or Stockholm.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. And qualifications?
I have 9 brownie badges and I can drive a 50cc motorbike and I've got a degree.
Right. Did any of that involve knowing about World War II?
Yes.
Right. So what made you think that a goodwill Christmas tree after World War II would have been given to us by the Germans?
It was a nice gesture, you know, after everything I thought.
Okay. Okay. Charlotte, have you got the hang of the game yet?
I think so.
Right. So how did you come to bank after Nicholas Parsons?
Because I looked at the clock and
No,
we'd
you
only
don't
got
know
no
the hang of
seconds
the
left.
game yet. Okay. Nicholas,
Yes.
I understand you're a former president of the Lord Taverners Club.
Lord's Taverners, yes. The charity, yes.
Does that not involve general knowledge of any sort?
Yes, and in fact, I've written thousands of general knowledge questions.
Yes.
But this
none
is the
of,
most...
None of this knowledge on show.
No, well, it was a very inhibiting situation. And when you have a very...
Let me cut you short, that statistically you were the worst player, and with 7 votes you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think they're all very tense and very nervous, and the one who's got the strongest nerves will probably come out on top, rather than the one who's most tense, and perhaps be the next to go. I don't know who's most tense. It could be Charlotte, it could be Alice, it could be Mel or Sue, I don't know which one, but there's some strong nerves out there, and there's some talent as well, and there's a lot of aggression as well, so you'll see what happens.
Round 2, you've won £500 so far. You could have, of course, have won £1,000 by now. There are 8 of you left. We are taking 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Vanessa. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Vanessa, in classical music, what did the S stand for in J.S. Bach's name?
Sebastian.
Correct. Simon. Good King Wenceslas was ruler of which state?
Pass.
Bohemia. Alice. In TV, who starred alongside Terry Scott in the British sitcom Terry and June?
June Whitfield.
Correct. Charlotte. Complete the title of the 1972 Frederick Forsyth novel, The Odessa what?
File.
Correct. Sue. What M is a unit of time equal to 1/60th of an hour?
A minute.
Correct. Louis. What was the preferred weapon of the musketeers of the 16th and 17th centuries, a sword or a firearm?
Firearm.
Correct. Adam. Which town lies at the southern end of the Tyne Bridge?
Newcastle.
Gateshead. Mel. In the story A Christmas Carol, what is the name of the ghost of Scrooge's old business partner who makes a spooky Christmas Eve appearance?
Scrooge.
Jacob Marley. Vanessa, what R is the largest British member of the Crow family?
Raven.
Correct. Simon, on the World Wide Web, which country does the NO domain represent?
Norway.
Correct. Alice, the people of ancient Egypt relied on the annual flooding of which river to water their crops?
Nile.
Correct. Charlotte, according to the song, what were the maids doing on the 8th day of Christmas?
Maids are milking.
Correct. Sue, in the animal kingdom, are amphibians vertebrates or invertebrates?
Invertebrates.
Vertebrates. Louis, In literature, Dorset is portrayed as which W in some of Thomas Hardy's works?
Wessex.
Correct. Adam, in sculpture, the Venus de Milo is a statue of which Greek goddess?
Venus.
Aphrodite. Mel, the 1950 musical film Annie Get Your Gun features the song There's No Business Like What?
Show business.
Correct. Vanessa, by what name is singer Annie Mae Bullock better known?
Oh, Annie Lennox?
Tina Turner. Simon, what type of butter is the traditional accompaniment to Christmas pudding?
Brandy butter.
Correct. Alice, which member of the Spice Girls had a hit in 1998 with I Want You Back?
Scary.
Mel B. I'll accept Scary. Charlotte, which volcanic islands were visited by Charles Darwin in 1835 and named after a giant tortoise?
Galapagos.
Is it correct? Sue, in nature, is the achein a fruit or a vegetable?
Vegetable.
Fruit. Louis, in physics, what O is a measure of electrical resistance?
Ohm.
Correct. Adam, in TV, what 1960s rock and pop show was presented by Keith Fordyce and Kathy McGowan?
Ready, steady, go.
Correct. Mel, in politics, was the Weimar Republic set up after the First World War or the Second World War?
First World War.
Correct. Vanessa, what A is the highest point of a triangle, cone or pyramid?
Apex.
Correct. Simon,
Bank.
where in London do swimmers compete for the Peter Pan Cup on Christmas Day?
Pass.
Serpentine. Alice, in which century was the French Foreign Legion formed, the 18th or the 19th?
19th.
Charlotte! Time's up. That was the correct answer, Alice, but you were out of time, and without the help of Nicholas Parsons, you only scraped together £300 in that round. Who really shouldn't have bothered to be here today? Who's not up to scratch? One of you is about to leave the studio with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics show that Louis is the strongest link, as he got all his questions correct and banked £100. The worst player is Sue, who lost the team the most points. But will the other players have noticed?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mel.
Simon.
Simon.
Louis.
Adam.
Adam.
Simon.
Mel.
Louis, why Mel?
Because I was going to put Simon and then I felt bad about saying Simon last time. And I thought Mel could take it on the chin. Also, she should have known the Marley one. She said Scrooge instead of Marley.
Right. Vanessa, why Simon?
I thought he got a few questions wrong.
Well, he only got one more wrong than you did.
And everyone did so beautifully well. He was the only person I could think of.
Right. Sue, why Simon?
Because he got, I think, one question wrong that was perhaps a relatively easy one. I don't like to vote for anyone.
No, we
but,
really don't have a lot of time.
No.
Okay. How do you think you did in that round?
Very mediocre.
No, it was far worse than that.
Right.
Statistically, you were the weakest link. But it's votes that count. Simon, with 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think we're learning how to play the game. I understand that money's important, but I also have to answer questions right. I think the depth of Louis' knowledge is very good, but he hasn't quite grasped the fact that he needs the money too. So I'm not too sure, but I think Charlotte could come up trumps.
Round 3, and of the £2,000 you could have won by now, you've actually put in the bank a pathetic 800. You're down to 7 players. We're taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Astonishingly, that's Louis. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Louis, does a whirligig beetle mainly live on land or in water?
Land.
Water. Adam, in geography of which country is Kingston the capital city?
Jamaica.
Correct. Mel, complete the second line of this well-known Christmas carol, Once in Royal David City.
Stood a lowly cattle shed.
Correct. Vanessa, in what year did Uruguay win the first Football World Cup, 1912 or 1930?
1912.
1930. Alice, in the US government, what do the letters CIA stand for?
Central Intelligence Agency.
Correct. Charlotte, who wrote the 1729 satire A Modest Proposal? Was it Jonathan Swift, John Dryden or Alexander Pope?
Alexander Pope.
Swift. Sue. Which US circus promoter and showman was portrayed by Michael Crawford in a West End musical of the same name?
Barnum.
Correct. Louis.
Bang.
Which British seaside puppet show character evolved from Commedia dell'arte Pulcinella?
Punch and Judy.
Mr. Punch is the correct answer. Adam, in religion, what office was Adrian IV the only Englishman ever to hold?
Pope.
Correct. Mel. Derived from a tree of the same name, which silky fibre is used to stuff cushions?
Kapok.
Correct. Vanessa. What is the popular name for members of the Unification Church?
Moonies.
Correct. Alice.
Bank.
Which group of puppets has appeared in their own film versions of A Christmas Carol and Treasure Island?
The Muppets.
Correct. Charlotte. In human biology, does the esophagus lie in front or behind the heart?
In front.
Behind. Sue. Which 1960s pop artist painted the iconic images of Marilyn Monroe and Elizabeth Taylor?
Andy Warhol.
Correct. Louis.
Hey.
On which American cop show would Steve McGarrett say the line, "Book 'em, Dano," to
Hawaii
his sidekick?
5-0.
Correct. Adam, what A describes the airtight chamber that allows things to pass between areas of different pressure?
Airlock.
Correct. Mel. The Christmas tree was popularised in the UK in the mid-19th century by which prince?
Albert.
Correct. Vanessa. Which TV journalist once asked Michael Howard the same question 14 times on Newsnight?
Jeremy Paxman.
Correct. Alice. In classical music, was the music of Richard Wagner composed in the Romantic or the Baroque era?
Romantic.
Correct. Charlotte. In which English city is Devon County Council's headquarters?
Exeter.
Correct. Sue.
Bank.
Which singer is best known for the songs Copacabana, Mandy and Could It Be Magic?
Barry Manilow.
Correct. Louis. In food, what C is a type of tube-like pasta which is often stuffed?
Cannelloni.
Correct. Adam. Which English comedian born in 1904 projected the image of a Lancashire working lad and played the ukulele as he sang?
George Formby.
Correct. Mel. In the British Army, which rank applies to a non-commissioned officer with 3 stripes? The correct answer to the question is sergeant. And in that round, team, you banked £640. Who's for the chop? Who's gone from dim to dimmer to dunce? One of you is about to leave with absolutely nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The strongest link is Adam, with the most correct answers. Answering most of her questions incorrectly, Charlotte is the weakest link in this round. But who will lose out in the voting?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mel.
Adam, aka Ian Beale.
Charlotte.
Louis. Sue.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Team, just to let you know that in that last round you actually answered 10 questions correctly in a row, so if you'd banked intelligently you could have reached your target. Sue, why Charlotte?
Why Charlotte? Just purely going on who gets what right. And I know I had an absolutely appalling round, and I'm saying that before you tell me again. I was the weakest link, but I had a better round this time, and I just felt that Charlotte didn't answer as many questions right as she had done before.
Charlotte, why Sue?
Because I couldn't remember how many she'd got right in that round, but I remember that she'd not got some right before.
And how do you think you did in that round?
I know I did dismally.
Good.
I only got
Statistically, you were the worst player. With 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm slightly fed up. Well, I'm very fed up that I've been voted off in the 3rd round because I did want to get through to the 5th round. That was my target I set for myself, and I've not done it. Based on general form, I think it quite possibly will be Adam next, if not Alice.
Round 4, there's £1,440 banked so far out of potential prize money of £3,000. 6 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have only 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round, that's Adam. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Adam, where in the body would you find alveoli and lobes?
It.
The lungs. Mel, in France, what do they call Father Christmas?
Père Noël.
Correct. Vanessa, which long-running children's zoology programme was presented by Johnny Morris?
Animal Magic.
Correct. Alice.
Bank.
What have been required on British passports since February the 1st, 1915?
Photographs.
Correct. Sue, in British advertising, what is ASA an acronym for?
Advertising Standards Association.
Authority, no. Louis, in which Scottish city are the comics The Beano and the Dandy published?
Dundee.
Correct. Adam, who is the only British player to win the European Footballer of the Year trophy twice, George Best or Kevin Keegan?
Kevin Keegan.
Correct. Mel, in humans, hemoglobin is a protein used to transport what around the body?
Blood.
Oxygen. Vanessa, what D is a type of small plum?
Damson.
Correct. Alice, which northern cathedral is the largest Gothic cathedral in England?
York Minster.
Correct. Sue.
Bank.
In nature, what sea is the name given to the furry tufts of flowers carried by trees such as willows and hazels in spring?
Tumbleweed.
Catkins. Louis, used in Indian cookery, what does the Hindi word bulti mean in English?
Curry.
Bucket. Adam, in the TV comedy series On the Buses, Stephen Lewis played which character?
Blakey.
Correct. Mel, complete the title of the Shakespeare play, The Comedy of what?
Errors.
Correct. Vanessa, Living on a Prayer and Bad Medicine were hits for which American rock group?
Eagles.
Bon Jovi. Alice, what D is the 19th century word for boiled dumpling or pudding in the Christmas dish plum what?
Pass.
Duff. Sue, Amy Johnson was a famous name in which field of travel in the 1930s?
Air travel.
Aviation. Correct.
Bang.
Louis, in biology, what is the normal number of chromosomes found in a human being, 46 or 50?
46.
Correct. Adam, in fashion, what type of clothing is a stole?
Something goes around your neck type thing.
A shawl or scarf. Mel, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend is a song from which musical?
Marilyn Monroe.
No,
Sound like
Gentlemen's Fair Blondes. Vanessa, which female author wrote the novels Riders in '84 and Rivals in 1988?
Shirley Cooper.
Correct. Alice.
Bank.
Which letter was assigned to the Ford car that in 1908 was the first to meet the needs of a mass market?
Pass.
T. Sue. Time is up, and in that round, you won an embarrassing £140 out of a possible £1,000. Who shouldn't be playing with the big boys? Who's too thick to be here? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second time in the game, Vanessa is the strongest player, gaining the most points for the team. Sue is the weakest link for the second time, although she did bank some money for the team. Can this save her from the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Alice.
Adam Woodyatt.
Adam.
Adam.
Alice.
Alice.
Mel, you don't want to have Adam on the team, do you?
He's voted me off too many times, Anne. He must go.
How do you think he did in that round, Mel?
Smug. Not very well.
How do you think you did in that round?
The same.
Adam, you don't want to have Alice on the team.
Well, I would like to have Alice on the team, but it's getting to that sort of crunch stage, and I didn't want to vote for Mel
Okay,
again.
I think we've had enough of you.
Okay, good.
Vanessa, why Adam?
Because he keeps picking on Mel, and she's my
Right.
pal.
Right. So you're doing it on friendship, not about who will get the bank balance
No.
up for charity.
I'm doing it for love and loyalty to my friend.
Right. So
And
you
colleague.
couldn't care less about the bank balance for charity.
No, I care immensely about the charity, but sometimes, charity begins at home.
Right. Okay. We have a tie. Adam and Alice, 3 votes each. And when the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. Vanessa, as the strongest link, would you rather get rid of Adam or Alice? And you can, of course, change your mind.
I would rather get rid of Adam.
In the meantime, of course, nobody on the team noticed who was the weakest link, statistically. Did they, Sue?
No, and I'd have gotten
No,
away
that's
with
it.
it.
That's all we need. Adam, Vanessa has had enough of you. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think there is a bit of tactical voting going on, particularly from Vanessa. That's not sour grapes because she had the casting vote and voted me off. I think her reason for voting me off, but she was sticking up for Mel, was somewhat weak. I think she might be trying to get Mel to be with her at the end because she knows she would beat Mel.
Round 5, out of a possible £4,000, your total so far is 1,580. 5 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Vanessa. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Vanessa, does the chough belong to the thrush or the crow family?
The thrush.
Crow. Alice, Anne Boleyn was the mother of which English queen?
Elizabeth I.
Correct. Sue, in Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream, who is the king of the fairies?
Oberon.
Correct. Louis.
Bang.
The New Forest is in which English county?
Berkshire.
Hampshire. Mel, in music, in which decade did the Monkees release the UK hit single I'm a Believer?
60s.
Correct. Vanessa, at Christmas the concept of Santa Claus is based on which saint?
St Nicholas.
Correct. Alice.
Bang.
In the 1993 film The Remains of the Day, what job does Anthony Hopkins' character have?
He's an Oxford Don.
No, he's a butler, Alice. Sue, in history, which large naval and military force was sent by Philip II of Spain to invade England in May 1588?
The Armada.
Spanish Armada. Louis, but I'll accept. In which year was President Abraham Lincoln assassinated?
1865.
Correct. Mel, at what sport could you see the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the New York Rangers?
Baseball, Anne.
Ice hockey. Vanessa, in which European country would you find the Massif Central?
France.
Correct. Alice, Wolfgang Amadeus was the usually accepted forenames of which composer?
Mozart.
Correct. Sue, who spent Christmas Day 1741 devising the centigrade temperature scale, Gabriel Fahrenheit or Anders Celsius?
Celsius.
Correct. Louis,
Bang.
by what name are members of the Religious Society of Friends popularly known?
Quakers.
Correct. Mel, in which US state is Mount McKinley the tallest mountain in North America?
It's passed me by this time, Anne.
Alaska. Vanessa, which has the most legs, a black ant or a black ant spider?
Black ant spider.
Correct. Alice, in literature, which French term means a fictitious name used by a writer to represent his work?
Nom de plume.
Correct. Sue.
Bank.
Ilex is the Latin name for which Christmas shrub?
Holly.
Correct. Louis, in finance, what currency is represented by the letters DM?
Deutschmark.
Correct. Mel, in the animal kingdom, which marsupial travels in mobs under the leadership of the boomer?
I'm the weakest link, Anne.
Kangaroo. Vanessa, the Admiralty Islands are found in which ocean?
Indian.
Pacific. Alice, from which famous... Time is up. I cannot complete the question, and having got rid of so many weak links, you've managed to bank a pathetic £250. Which one of you isn't worth their place? Who's rubbish with a capital R? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Having survived the vote when she was the worst player, Sue has become this round's strongest link. The worst performance in this round came from Mel, who was the only player to lose the team points. But will the votes reflect this?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Louis.
Mel. Mel.
Alice.
Mel.
Louis, what's Mel done to upset you?
Well, nothing, but she did seem to go to pieces. It was almost like suicide.
You're in one piece, are you?
I'm hanging on.
Just. Sue!
Hello again.
Why Alice?
I was very torn. I think everyone was pretty evenly paced, but when tomorrow
I
comes,
think
I
we've
have
had
to.
enough of that.
No, yes.
Alice! How do you think you did in that round?
Not too bad. I had a couple of easier questions, I think.
Why Mel?
She was worse than me.
That's true. Mel?
I know I must go, Anne. I can smell the green room food.
Just as well, because statistically, you were the worst player, and with 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I voted off Louis because His ears were backlit with red and they made him look slightly scary. When Vanessa said she was my friend and voted for Adam, I felt good, I felt warm, I felt friendly towards her. When she voted me off, I haven't spoken to her since. I thought we were close, but obviously not that close. I think the final will probably be Sue and Vanessa. I think Beer's off next, followed by Louis.
Round 6. You've won £1,830. If you'd been awake, it would be 5,000. There's 4 of you left. We are cutting another 10 seconds off your time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. Amazingly, that's Sue. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Sue, in nature, what name is given to the ripe fruit of a rose or wild rose?
Crabapple.
Hit. Louis, Michael Caine and Julie Walters starred in which 1983 film scripted by Willie Russell?
Educating Rita.
Correct. Vanessa, which Premiership football team plays home games at the Valley?
Aston Villa.
Charlton Athletic. Alice, in darts, how many points would you score if you hit double 18, 6 and 2?
180.
44. Sue, which Gilbert and Sullivan operetta is subtitled The Lass That Loved a Sailor?
Pass.
HMS Pinafore. Louis, in which Shakespeare play does a statue of Hermione, the king's wife, come to life?
Henry IV, Part 1.
The Winter's Tale. Vanessa, in politics, what W was a pact signed by the USSR in 1955 in response to West Germany joining NATO?
Williamsburg Treaty.
Warsaw Pact. Alice, which British film company used the symbol of a man striking a gong at the start of its features?
Paramount.
Rank. Sue, in economics, for what do the letters VAT stand?
Value-added tax.
Correct. Louis, what was the TV talent show which helped make stars Victoria Wood and Lenny Henry?
New Faces.
Correct. Vanessa, which male chauvinist cartoon character did Reg Smythe start drawing for the Daily Mirror from 1957?
Andy Capp.
Correct. Alice,
Bank.
according to the song 12 Days of Christmas, how many French hens are there?
3 French
Correct.
hens.
Sue, name the French brothers who were pioneers in the world of cinema.
Pass.
The Lumiere brothers. Louis, which classic horror novel is told through the diaries of several people, including Jonathan Harker and his fiancée Mina?
The Shining.
Dracula. Vanessa, in rugby, which country other than Australia and New Zealand competes in the Tri-Nations?
South Africa.
Correct. Alice, in physics, what's the name given to a disturbed flow of air, for example, a change in the wind speed or direction?
No idea.
Turbulence. Sue, in music, Keith Flint is the spiky-haired fire starter of which band?
The Prodigy.
Correct. Louis, which Spanish city is the Picasso Museum in?
Bilbao.
Barcelona. Vanessa, what B was the name of the free trade? Time is up. I cannot complete the question. You only gave me 7 correct answers in that round and you banked £100. Who is clearly for the high jump? Who has lost the plot? One of you is about to leave with absolutely nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the 3rd time in the game, Vanessa is the strongest link, gaining the team the most points. The weakest link statistically is Alice, although she was the only player who banked money for the team. Will that save her when the players vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Louis.
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 Alice.
Vanessa, why Louis?
Well, I thought he was losing his composure just a little towards the end, having put up a very spirited fight so far.
Right. So you're just sending him off but crawling at the same time, are you?
Yes.
Alice, how do you think you did?
Not that well.
No, you were the worst player, Alice. So, actually, Louis did much better than you.
Oh, did he? I'm sorry.
Louis, what's your take on sex symbols?
I don't really have one.
No. Well, there are 3 of them here, and they've all voted you off. You are the weakest link. Bye.
I do think there's a bit of a girl power thing going on, and I got the feeling that maybe Alice, Vanessa and Sue were communicating between rounds. Having been through this experience, what's surprising is how involved you do get in it. And what starts out as quite fun and a joke becomes quite serious very quickly. And so by the end, when I did the walk of shame, I felt pretty gutted.
Round 17, you've got rid of the helpless and the hopeless and Nicholas Parsons. There is £1,930 in the bank out of a possible 6,000 you could have won by now. 3 of you left, another 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Vanessa. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Vanessa, Dame Margot Fontaine was known for what type of dancing?
Ballet.
Correct. Alice, what is the literal translation of the Gaelic word loch?
Pond.
Lake.
Lake.
Sue, in TV, former Brookside actors Ricky Tomlinson and Sue Johnson now star in which BBC sitcom?
The Royal Family.
Correct. Vanessa, who starred as Terry alongside Cary Grant in the 1957 film An Affair to Remember?
Katharine Hepburn.
Deborah Carr. Alice, in clothing, a stovepipe is a type of what?
Trouser.
Hat. Sue, in 399 BC, which Greek philosopher was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock?
Seneca.
Socrates. Vanessa, which legendary filmmaker directed The Greatest Show on Earth and The Ten Commandments?
Sam Peckinpah.
Cecil B. DeMille. Alice, according to the Christmas Carol, which monarch looked out on the Feast of Stephen?
Good King Wenceslas.
Correct. Sue, in literature, what is the first name of the author Seth who wrote 1993's A Suitable Boy?
Vikram.
Correct. Vanessa, in maths, is the radius of a circle longer or shorter than its diameter?
Shorter.
Correct. Alice.
Bank.
In TV, what 1960s police drama series was a spin-off from Z-Cars?
Dixon and Doc Green.
Softly, softly. Sue, name either the upper or lower house of the US Congress.
Can you repeat the question?
Name either the upper or lower house of the USA Congress.
House of Representatives.
Correct. Vanessa, in sport, which was the first country to host the Football World Cup twice?
Mexico.
Correct. Alice, which artist took part in a bed-in protest with her rock star husband in 1969?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Which artist took part in a bed-in protest with her rock star husband in 1960?
Yoko Ono.
Correct. Sue, before blood screening was introduced in 1991, which of the hepatitis viruses was most frequently transmitted during blood transfusions?
C.
Correct. Vanessa, Lily Savage appeared in the stage musical version of which cult Australian TV series?
Prison of Cell Block H.
Correct. Alice.
Bank.
Barramundi is the name adopted from the Aboriginal for what type of animal?
Kangaroo.
Correct answer is fish. Time is up, and in that round you bank £400. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, and that means in the next round there's £3,000 to be won. The question is, which one of you is now really just a load of rubbish? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics show that for the second time in the game, Sue is the strongest link. Having survived the vote in the last round, Alice is the weakest link, but banked £400 for the team. Can this save her for the second time?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Alice.
Vanessa.
Alice.
Sue, why Alice?
It's very hard to say, but I think she got one more wrong than anyone else, is my feeling.
She banked £400.
She did, yeah.
Vanessa, why Alice?
Much the same reason. I thought she got more questions wrong.
She banked £400.
I know.
Do you feel mean?
Yes.
Alice,
Yes.
what is it you do?
I'm a journalist, Annie.
Where did you train?
In the Robinson School of Journalism.
Did she never teach you the difference between a lake and a pond, or a fish and a kangaroo? Or weren't you listening?
I probably had a momentary lapse then.
Right, more than one. Alice, statistically you were the worst player. With 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, I thought I was doing quite well banking the money because that's important, so I feel as though I've earned charity a bit of money. And Vanessa didn't bank a thing, she kept spending it. I couldn't put my money on either of them. They're both bright cookies, Sue and Vanessa. Sue. I'd like to see Sue win.
Round 8. By now you could have won £7,000. In fact, you have in the kitty £2,330, so we are not reeling with admiration. Vanessa and Sue, just the 2 of you left, and this time you have only 90 seconds, but whatever you win in this round will be trebled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. £3,000 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Sue. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Sue, what K is an African desert that was crossed by David Livingstone in 1849?
Caligari.
Kalahari. Vanessa, in theatre, which word from the Greek for imitation is used to describe a play where dialogue is replaced by gesture?
Mime.
Correct. Sue, which American modern jazz singer and pianist also appeared in the films Memphis Belle and Independence Day?
Pass.
Harry Connick Jr. Vanessa, in 1939, the Battle of the River Plate was a naval battle in the South Atlantic between two forces, the British and who?
The American.
Germans. Sue, which edible paper is made from the pith of an Asiatic tree?
Rice paper.
Correct. Vanessa, which 1937 film starred the Marx Brothers trying to keep a sanatorium open with the help of a racehorse?
Duck Soup.
A Day at the Races. Sue, what type of camera, first marketed in 1948, was developed by Dr. Edwin Herbert Land?
Instamatic.
Polaroid. I'll accept instant. Vanessa, in which decade of the 20th century did Nelson Mandela begin his imprisonment for his opposition to apartheid?
70s.
1960s. Sue, in biology, DNA and RNA are the two types of what complex organic acid?
Pass.
Nucleic acid. Vanessa, which medal did former world heavyweight boxing champion Evander Holyfield win in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics?
Gold medal.
Bronze medal. Sue, what C is the unit of heat needed to raise 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius?
Calorie.
Correct. Time is up. You didn't make it to £1,000. You won only £20. How spectacular. Never mind, we'll treble that and add it to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means prize money today of £2,390. But only one of you can have that money to give to charity. You will be playing against each other now, head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Vanessa and Sue, for £2,390, let's play the weakest link. Sue, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'd like to go first, please.
Sue, which leading British actor supplied voices for the title characters in the children's animated series Danger Mouse and Count Duckula?
David Jason.
That is the correct answer. Vanessa, in humans, beriberi is a disease caused by a lack of which vitamin?
Vitamin D.
Correct answer is vitamin B. Sue, in food, the word Seder is given to the ritual meal of which Jewish festival?
Passover.
That is the correct answer. Vanessa, what sport featured in the 1988 movie Bull Durham?
Golf.
The correct answer is baseball. Sue, which cathedral city stands on the river Wensum?
Salisbury.
Correct answer is Norwich. Vanessa, in photography, for what do the initials SLR stand?
I've got no idea.
Correct answer is single lens reflex. Sue, if you answer this question correctly, you have won £2,390. Which symbol has been reintroduced on British eggs to show the hens have been inoculated against salmonella?
Tick.
Correct answer is a lion. Vanessa, you need to answer this question correctly to remain in the game. Which European city is famous for its Oktoberfest beer festival and agricultural fair?
I think it's Salzburg.
The correct answer is Munich. That means, Sue, you are today's strongest link, and you will be able to give your prize money of £2,390 to charity. But as it's Christmas, and we are a kind, gentle programme on The Weakest Link, we're going to double that amount and make the total £4,780, which you may donate to charity. Vanessa, you will donate absolutely nothing to charity. Join us again for The Weakest Link. Goodbye.
Well, you can't help hoping that you're going to win, so it's very disappointing, and I would have liked to have won the money from my charity, but I do think that Sue played a stonking game. She was terrific at the end.
I'm very surprised to have won because I thought I was lucky to be in the final round. I think I picked up and I had some good rounds, but I let people down quite badly in the opening rounds. I was very, very nervous, but I'm delighted to have won because I really wanted the charity that Mel and I support to get the money, so it's nice. It's nice that one of us did it.